Hi, my name is Alex Dudley, and today I'm going to go through a little bit of a flexibility routine I would create for someone with pronation distortion syndrome, which can be characterized by this, which is, I think, a valgus knee fault. So, my routine would be more than the 4 exercises I'm going to show you today, and my written explanation explains why and explains exactly what I'm going to stretch. But this distortion syndrome is characterized by tight hip flexors, IT, hamstrings, peroneals, soleus, gastroc, essentially most of the lower leg, the adductors as well. So I'm going to do just a sample of the routine. I'm going to do 2 self-myofascial release stretches and 2 static stretches. I'm going to do the SMR technique first because by reducing the adhesions or knots in your muscles through SMR, you're able to have the possibility of a greater stretch through static stretching. So I'm going to start with the SMR techniques. So for my SMR, I'm going to demonstrate to you the TFL IT band stretch, and as well as a gastrocnemius calf stretch. So for SMR, you want a foam roller. I don't have one. I have this. It's called a Battlestar by Mobility WOD. It's a little more aggressive. I stretch a lot. I do a lot of this stuff, so I like this because it's what I need to get a good stretch. So pretend it's a foam roller. So I'm going to do the TFL IT band first. You're going to want to start right at the hip joint, and you work your way laterally down to your knee. Now, with these stretches, you're going to start, get yourself in this position. It's right below my hip joint. I'm going to bring my opposite leg across and foot flat, supporting myself. With these stretches, you essentially just want to roll down until you find a spot that's tight or tender, and you want to just hang out and camp out there for 30 seconds minimum, or until the pain or tension subsides. So for me, my whole IT band is tight, so I can just hang out at the top here, and you'd hold this for 30 seconds. If it's too aggressive, you can kind of just back off the weight a bit if it hurts too much, but just hang out till it subsides. The second stretch I'm going to do is my calf and gastroc. So same thing, you would roll up and down the calf till you found a spot that was tender and needed your attention. So rolling out, it's tight here. You're going to cross your leg just to add some added weight and added pressure. And again, minimum 30 seconds. Hang out until that tension subsides a bit, which for me would be all day. So now the static stretches, the first one I'm going to do is the kneeling hip flexor stretch. So to set up for this one, you are going to have both legs at a 90-degree angle. You want to make sure that, and you can internally rotate to target your hips to target your psoas, but I'm going to stay straight here to work on my rectus femoris. So 90-degree angle, I'm going to make sure that you're squeezing your glutes, that you're posteriorly rotating your pelvis. You can kind of see that happening here. Navel's drawn in. I'm making sure I have good posture in my spine here. And you're just going to slowly lean forward until you have tension and a stretch in the front here. You want to make sure that you're not leaning forward too aggressively or really like getting too deep, because you don't want to pull it if it's tight. And again, make sure your glutes are on the entire time, otherwise you're not going to get the same stretch. So when you have the stretch, you want to hang out for same thing, 30 seconds. You want to do 1 to 3 sets of this. While you're camping out, holding your static stretch, you can also contract, relax, and that helps like contract and relax the antagonist muscle, which will help you get reciprocal inhibition and get into a deeper stretch. I like to hold this stretch for the contraction for about 6 seconds, because that's what I've read is the amount of time it takes to stimulate the GTO, or Golgi tendon organ. So I'm stretching, I've got tension here, it's tight, I'm contracting, holding it, relax. I can sink a little bit deeper and keep doing that for 30 seconds. There's also, you can make this a little more difficult. You can take your hand in the air, bend over to the opposite side, and then start to rotate posteriorly. And for me, this really captures my psoas, and actually a little bit of the lat insertion down here. And same thing, you just hold 1 to 3 sets of your 30 seconds. If this is too hard for you, or it hurts your knee being down here, you can put a pillow under here as well. The next stretch I'm going to do is the adductor static stretch. So you want to make sure that your hips are wider than shoulder width. If they're any narrower, you're not going to get as good of a stretch. And then you just want to stay your stance a bit so that your back toe is in line with your front heel. And from here, again, you're going to make sure you're drawing in your navel, you're squeezing your glutes, and you're posteriorly rotating your pelvis. And that looks like this. So if I'm just hanging out like this, you want to glutes, and that's that posterior tilt of my pelvis, and that you can really feel that in your groin. So you're here, your butt's turned on, pelvis is posteriorly rotated, and you just want to start to lean over until you can feel a little bit of tension and pressure in your groin. Again, just like the last stretch, you don't want to be too aggressive and pull anything or get too deep too quick. So you'd hold for 30 seconds. You can contract and relax and sink a little bit deeper. Contract, relax, sink a little bit deeper. If holding this lunge position is too difficult for you, you can get down on your knees and do it. You can also do it on a stability ball. You can also rotate your hip on this one as well to target different musculature. But again, I've got my feet pointing straight forward to really hit my adductor. And that's just a sample of 4 of the exercises or flexibility exercises I would use to target pronation distortion syndrome. Thank you and have a great day.